Good afternoon. I'll be happy to answer any questions that I can.
Hey, Jon, I know it's the ramp up period. What's your philosophy on how fast you can ramp these guys up and get them ready to go?
Well, we're going to do what the rules allow us to do. Right now, our idea of ramping them up is teaching them the system, having a lot of walkthroughs, and then our strength and conditioning coach is really in charge of ramping them up physically in the weight room and with speed and conditioning work. The ramp up phase will graduate next week and then the following week, and hopefully we'll see some benefits along the way.
Jon, I know it's just been a walkthrough situation so far, but the young guys, Henry Ruggs and Lynn Bowden Jr. and Brian Edwards, Greg Olson and Derek Carr have talked pretty highly of those guys. From your perspective, what have you seen so far on the young guys?
Well, they're learning the system. Again, this is a walkthrough. We're having a lot of reps, a lot of situations. We're putting in a lot of stuff every day to try to fast track their knowledge of our system on both sides of the ball. But so far so good. But until you see bump and run coverage and you put pads on and you catch a crossing route with guys breathing down your neck, it's a tough evaluation. But so far we like what we see, but that's about it.
Jon, what sort of contingencies are you putting in place in terms of coaching staff with COVID, whether you might be without a coach for a week or two, or in terms of game day? Do you guys have some contingencies you built in?
Yeah, we've split our coaching staff into two groups. We have two fields working at the same time. We change the players and the coaches every day, so everybody gets a chance to interact with one another. We've got a lot of depth on this staff, a lot of young coaches that are on the rise. So we are preparing for any contingency plans that could come up.
Jon, you talked a lot about the fans and the city and that stadium, and this week Mark Davis had to make obviously the disappointing announcement that there are no fans this year in Allegiant Stadium. Just how disappointing is that? And I guess, when you think about it, probably the right thing to do going forward, huh?
Yeah, it's disappointing for all of sports, honestly. Certainly, you see that stadium, you want to go in there and you want to just cut it loose with your new fan base, and it is disappointing. But we're not the only team that feels that. We're doing what we feel is right for the safety and the health of everybody, and hopefully we beat this virus soon and we can get back to normal.
Coach, last time we spoke, you hadn't had any opt-outs by any players, and since then I think there's been 3. Do you anticipate there being any more before the deadline today?
I don't know. I don't anticipate any. A lot of guys have opted out. That's their decision. We respect it, but I have no other candidates to announce today.
Hey, Coach, Scott with Raider Nation Radio 920. You've talked about getting better offensively in the second half, including yourself in managing red zone opportunities. Have you identified areas of focus for that?
Yeah, we've identified our goal line offense, our very tight red zone offense is a priority. That's number one. We need more opportunities with the ball. I think we're last in the NFL in possessions. We need more 3 and outs. We need our defense to get us the ball back more often. We're not getting enough possessions. That would help. But our very tight red zone offense needs a lot of work, and that's what we're going to strive to get better at once we get a chance to put the pads on. We're stuffed inside the 1 yard line half a dozen times. That's ridiculous and almost unprecedented in Raider history.
Hey, Jon, it's Deshaun Reed from The Athletic. I know it's not their primary responsibility, but how beneficial could it be to have, 2 linebackers in Kwiatkowski and Littleton who could drop back in coverage?
Well, it's, in this game of football we play today, it's paramount, and it's an area that we needed to address. And fortunately, there were some good linebackers available in free agency, and obviously we made that a priority. We're really happy with Kwiatkowski and Littleton, and There's a young kid out of Nevada, Las Vegas, a young undrafted free agent, Javin White, who's doing some good things here as well. So we've got some new linebackers. Tanner Muse is making the transition to the box. We're more athletic, but until we put the pads on, all we're doing is making a bunch of predictions.
John, to make a prediction, you said before camp you really hadn't even seen a lot of the veterans defensively, except maybe on tape. Besides their leadership in terms of playing, do you see anyone kind of stepping out to lead a defense that obviously has to be better? Is it the obvious guys like Littleton, or are there other people you think could lead them and be a leader there?
Well, we're hoping John Abram assumes a leadership role here in time. Randall comes over, a very good safety man. He's got some day-to-day energy that I like. I think Joyner is a leader. Cleve Farrell, Max Crosby. We got some guys that like football, like each other, and crazy enough, I think they like to practice. So we're making progress, but it'll be Nick Kwiatkowski, the guy we're counting on in the middle, to make all the calls and adjustments. We expect him to be a dynamic leader for us as well. All right.
John, due to circumstances, obviously this was a huge offseason of teaching. You weren't able to get them your players onto the field to see what they took from the classroom to the field. Put a heavy premium on players, getting their head in the playbook throughout the offseason. Have you seen that translate? Do you feel like that they did do that, and now you're starting to see it up on the field?
Yeah, we're very impressed with that, and I don't want to say anything else other than they did their work. We have tried to bring in players that don't like football. They love it, and they don't study it because they have to. They study it because they want to. And I'm really impressed with what we're able to do, communication-wise, execution-wise, even though it's a walkthrough. I'm very impressed with the retention and their ability to take new things out on the grass and execute it immediately. They like it, man. It's exciting and fun to come to work here.
Okay, John, back in another time, Mike Mayock had said that he was looking forward to that last mandatory mini camp in Las Vegas, just to sort of, to deal with the awe factor of a new facility. So people would, when the training camp started, they would be, okay, we're used to this now. I'm just curious as to what reaction you've seen about the new facility. Is there any of that awe factor? Do you see everybody locked in and ready to go?
It's a weird time right now because we haven't utilized our entire facility. We haven't had a team meeting. We haven't had a group quarterback meeting or a group offensive meeting or defensive meeting. Everything is on quarantine. A lot of this facility is off limits. We have done an unbelievable job from a safety standpoint to protect our players and coaches and employees here. But the players that have been with the Raiders for many years are just starstruck with the facility. I think the new players all respect it and really appreciate it. And I really thank the owner, Mark Davis, again, and Mark Bedane for the vision they had putting this football factory together. It's going to give every coach that coaches here every reason to win.
Hey, John, Paul Gutierrez here from ESPN. Obviously, you got to get through a bunch of hurdles before you get to the place where you put pads on. But how much hitting do you anticipate happening in this strange offseason, this strange training camp? How different will that be from years past when you've had the traditional offseason?
Well, we're going to be very measured in what we do and how we do it. We're going to adapt every day to who's available, number one. And we're going to try to be creative to get the guys that need it. We're going to try to get it for them, but we're going to be creative and smart about it. We can't put a pad on until August 17th. It's funny, that's my birthday. So what a great day that will be. But we're going to have to be smart because we got to go on the road and play Carolina a couple of weeks later, and obviously you want your men to be healthy. There are no preseason games. I don't know how many times Josh Jacobs is going to get tackled full speed live on our practice field, but we do need to get everybody some work, and we got to be smart about it.
Hey, John, there's a lot of talk this week about P.J. Hall, but I'm wondering, what have you guys added in Collins and Ross?
Well, we think Collins has experience in our system. He's been a classic 3 technique. He has experience with the position coach that's working with him. He's officially about to enter the prime of his career, so he's got a lot of playing experience. He's got a lot of technical knowledge of what we want done. And I think I said it the last time we had a press thing here. He's the key to our defense. I think he's got a chance to be one of the better ones. And we're happy about that. Hankins is a guy nobody's talking about. Jonathan Hankins has really been a good player for us. He's in great shape, bought into the Marinelli factor. And Ross is another guy who has history with Rod in Dallas, and he has the energy and he has the versatility to not just be a run stuffer, but he can rush the passer. And he's in shape and he's ready to go.
2 more questions, guys.
Coach, you said it yourself, it's tough to truly evaluate players right now. So what went into the decision to waive Jeremy Hill?
Well, we had some issues at our running back position. One of our running backs was excused for a while for a personal reason. We've had some shortage of backs. Unfortunately for Jeremy, he was behind in terms of what we were doing. One of the backs came back. Another player opted out. We needed to get help at other positions, so it became a numbers game. And Jeremy's a good back, and hopefully he catches on someplace else.
And you guys used Clee both inside and outside last year. It looked like he added a little bit of weight this year. Do you still plan to use him inside and out? Or is that added weight can maybe help him when he is inside?
Well, we hope everybody has the versatility to go inside. I remember when I was in Green Bay when Reggie White said he found a guy, a candy bar, he wanted to take a big bite out of him. You know, if there was a weak link on their offensive line, Reggie White wanted to go after him. So we want all of our defensive linemen to have the versatility to play inside if there's a weak link somewhere or there's a game that we want to try to exploit stunt-wise. We'd like everybody to have that versatility on third down, certainly, but we think Clee can bat some balls down. We think he can do a lot of things as a rusher inside and out eventually.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
You guys have a good one.